Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Kokkoku episode 3. Just reviewed episode 2 last night from when I'm recording this. So, yeah, this is kind of directly afterward for me. But it might not be a little bit longer until I post it. Who knows? Either way. So, this was a good episode. This is probably my favorite. I'd say definitely my favorite episode so far. Even though the opening episode, the premiere, was super strong, I liked this one even more. I liked the way just the general story is going, and the episode itself was really exciting, and I like how each episode it feels like I'm getting just flooded with information that I'm really involved in the show, because watching you have to be involved, you have to try to keep up with all these different rules and aspects and all of this that's going on, but it's not too much. It's not like really cheesy's not the word I'm looking for, but it's not one of those things that's needlessly complex for the sake of being complex. I just think that in general it's easy to understand, but it has enough different detail and all these different things going around within it that it makes you pay attention. It's a really similar feeling to Death Note for me. Of course, the show is quite different, but it's a similar feeling in that show was another one where it wasn't super confusing or anything, but it had enough different rules and aspects and different things going on in the universe of it that you had to pay attention, be involved as a watcher. So I did like that about that, and I like it about this as well. So let's talk about it sort of from the beginning. So at the beginning, Juri goes milk-eyed, so the guys are like, oh, what the hell? What's going on with her? But she can see the jellyfish. I know it's weird, but she can see the jellyfish within people, and we actually learn a lot about them this episode. Apparently they're called specters, and merging with them is how they enter the stasis. They use the stones to merge with the specters. But she can forcibly remove them. That's her power, and I absolutely love this power. It looks completely badass when she just nails people and knocks the jellyfish out of them. I really like that as a power, but from stuff they said later on, I don't know if their powers change depending on different things, so I don't know if she'll keep that. Hell, I don't even know if she still has it currently now that her eyes aren't glowy white anymore. But at least for right then, it was a cool power that she had. I was kind of hoping it would be her own unique thing, sort of like how the grandfather can teleport and whatnot, but either way. So, one thing that made me laugh a lot, Judy's badass parkour move, where she tries to, was she jumping from the window ledge to the railing up at this little overpass that was going up above their driveway, and she just sort of flips herself over it and then falls on the ground and lays there for a bit, wincing. I don't know why I laughed at that. Yuri trying to be badass parkour girl. But then Majima says to the guys, go capture her without killing her and all that. Then this guy Shiomi shows up and gets information on what happened from Majima. And he says, these guys are all bleeding from the nose that she expelled the specters from, so that could maybe cause death if they're unlucky. It might kill them. Juri then has flashbacks about Majima and is like, have I met her before? And we saw Majima having flashbacks before, so maybe they have met, and maybe it's going to end up being being a Yuri ship, but no. Being a situation where Majima becomes a good guy, sort of like I said before, and helps him out. And, I guess actually that's about it for that train of thought. But, Sagawa, we go back to him, and he's doing what we heard about last episode, where he was planning to experiment with the cult and Harold by having a guy try to kill one of the stalled, and of course they have to kind of trick him into it. So, Harold shows up and smashes the dude's head, and Sagawa then can theorize that it's maybe reacting to brain waves or the chemicals released when you're thinking about killing a person, and maybe that's how it understands and shows up and why it targets the head. Maybe that's what it reacts to. But the cult leader guy with him notes that the Herald was smaller than last time it showed up and killed the last guy, so the only thing they can gather from that is, Sagawa theorizes, that it has to use up energy to show up and to kill a person. So as it's using up energy, it's shrinking because it has no way to gain energy back, that we know of yet at least. Then the jellyfish from this dead guy that just died went to Makoto, and I I'm confused, actually. I wonder why specifically. There are a couple of reasons. Nothing's been explained yet, but I'm thinking maybe it's because he's part of this sort of main family that the grandfather and his descendants are a part of. Maybe that's why it went to him specifically. Maybe it had something to do with because those people were there to kill him. Or it had something to do because he's connected to the whole reason this stasis took place here. So there's a lot of different possibilities. I'm thinking most likely it's because he's from that family, I guess. But it's really difficult to tell. It's difficult to tell. So maybe if another person dies, it's just going to randomly unfreeze the sister that's at work or the mom that's at work, and they're just going to be like, what in the heck? Because they really don't know any of this is going on. They're going to really be like, what in the hell? But either way. Also, the jellyfish that got knocked out of people by Judy, I guess they didn't go to anybody new. We didn't see that, at least. Either way, next up, I love Tsubasa so much. I actually really like this character. I love how he's like playing along because he doesn't want Makoto to get PTSD and end up a NEET like him. That was great. And then when they're going along, and he's trying to figure all this out because he doesn't know as much as Judy and the grandfather and the father know. So he's like, what in the hell is going on? Why is everyone frozen? Why is it just me and now Makoto and we can move around? So, and he, of course, remembers back about his father being there and about those guys moving around, but the kidnappers themselves couldn't move. So he is totally confused, obviously. And I think they may be heading back to the house. Who knows whether that's good or bad, but I think they're heading back to that house. Which means there's a potential that they could actually be killed, since they're not stalled anymore. So that makes it more dangerous, really. Sadly, I think they'll probably end up as some sort of hostages by Majima's group that is still at the house the last we saw them. But either way. So Shiomi then reports back to Sagawa what he heard from Majima, and Sagawa starts to interrogate the father. Majima then mentions to one guy that she had the same powers as Judy once, so maybe it's just something that happens when you're in a state of duress here, and you're special. I don't know. And then we see a bunch of cult guys at this convenience store doing just bad guy stuff, but there's also a lot of cult guys doing bad guy stuff, like in a lot of different areas that we've seen over the past 3 episodes, at least 2 episodes. This one and the last one. The first one we didn't see many of them. But I'm just wondering how many people were touching that stone or were around that stone, or how did they do that? Because it seems like they brought a lot of fucking cult guys. So yeah, I don't really totally get that. Grandpa and Judy are then running from said thugs. And I was like, and this is where I assume Judy doesn't have that ability anymore, because I was like, why doesn't she just knock the jellyfish out of them? So they're running from the thugs. That's all handled really well. And this cliffhanger, usually I get pissed off. I'm like, damn it, why is there a cliffhanger? But this was a clever cliffhanger. This one really got me, where they're walking. And of course the thought had always entered my mind, I guess, that a person could pretend to be one of the stalled, but this guy pretended to be one of the stalled. They walked right past him, and then he pulls the knife on Judy, and they hit us with the cliffhanger. That was a good cliffhanger. That was really, really clever. So yeah, I thought it was a great episode. I loved Judy's power that she used, and I actually wish it was kind of a permanent thing, that she could just that her power specifically was knocking the jellyfish out of people. I think that'd be really cool. But either way, I love the character Tsubasa, the grandfather, even the father, Judy especially too. I think the one, Sagawa, I think is a really good villain. Like, just the whole look and aura he has, he's a really good villain. So the characters and the story depth too, really good. I love how everything is so mysterious, and how there are so many different aspects to keep up with. But again, it's not convoluted for the sake of being convoluted. So yeah, and what I like is this whole show, at the pace it's going, it could all play out in a single moment. The entire arc of this show could happen all within this one stasis at this rate, and then once they're done, once everything's concluded and everything goes back to normal, the mom and sister will just be like they won't know any of it happened. It will have all been a split second for them, despite how long the story could be in 12 episodes. And the entire concept of that just being one single moment is really cool. Just one single moment in time, the entire story takes place in that one frozen moment. God, that's such a cool concept. I really actually think that'd be awesome. Then, oh yeah, also the one stone that the cult leader guys use, Sagawa calls it the, what do you call it, like the subordinate stone or something? But there's the master stone that family has, and I have no idea what the difference is. If they can both cause them to stop time, I mean, that seems to be powerful in and of itself, so not quite sure I understand the difference fully yet. But that's something that, of course, probably going to be explained throughout the series. Right now, it's just one of those things where a million questions have been raised, and next episode we'll probably answer a bunch and then raise a bunch more. But either way, I'd give it 9 experiments out of 10. I loved this episode. I thought it had a lot going on, and that cliffhanger was really clever. It got me. So yeah, and the beginning was really good too. I liked Judy activating her power and stuff. That was all really cool. So yeah, good episode overall. Like the characters and story, 9 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for this, much more anime and manga on the channel, like the other 2 things I'm covering this season, Citrus and Mitsubishi Colors. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you up to there and stuff with the channel. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us there, just ask and I'll give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see you all next time.